What's up everyone on YouTube? This is Madara with another guide. This one is a bit spontaneous, but I felt like I should talk about this. An issue I run into quite a bit, and I think everyone that has played Leo a little bit will actually feel the same when you play Leo and you play in the neutral and it feels like all of your key moves, they will look something like this, right? More or less. Especially when you play against Lily and Dragunov, who have superior movement. A lot of the time your matches might just look like this. Your opponent just keeps on sidewalking and everything is just whiffing. And like legit everything. Yeah, some exceptions obviously, but most of your move list will be whiffing like quite a lot. So in this video I want to talk about this a little bit. I can't lie, I'm myself still a bit in the learning phase where I have to try out things, but I'm getting a better feeling for what moves you use and in what way. And I want to share that thought with you guys and hope I can teach you guys a thing or two that you didn't know maybe. And what we do against this, like what's the counter play against the sidewalking. So first things first. Normally, I always say, Leo, you're right. His weak side is like sidewalk wide, so always go to the right side. Expect like if you play against Dragunov and Lily, they might just walk both ways and it doesn't matter. But usually it's gonna be sidewalk wide that makes all the moves with. So what do we do against it? The most basic thing, let's say like this, is what is the core mechanic of the game. Homings, obviously, right? What are Leo's homings? We have down for 3, knockdown on normal hit. As far as I know, it's -9. Yep, it's -9 on block. Kinda leaves you in a rather bad state where you won't, your turn is over, but it's still something you have to use at some point because it's the fastest way you can use your homing with Leo. Also gives you a combo on the wall. Obviously, if they try to walk, let's see. The wall's a bit weird. Yeah, so you get your normal combo, normal split. So yeah, down for 3. A move you should use still, doing your pokes every now and then for this. It's still safe. Just be careful if it's on block. I wouldn't really recommend doing anything and just wait it out since you're hella minus. Our homing is quarter circle forward 3+4. This got a bit nerfed from Tekken 7. Used to be a counter launcher. Now it's not doing anything anymore. It does decent damage, 26 damage, and also no grey health coming from it. It spins them, which also means it splats on the wall. Since that spin that we are doing is telling you that it will splat if it's close to a wall. Not a bad way to also mix the crouch dash, the mix-up from here. And you're a bit less minus with -6 only on block. So you still have things you can do, some options. I would definitely recommend you to use both moves because depending on what character you fight against, you might have to use a more quicker homing, which would be this one. Since this is 18 frames, but you have to combine it with the crouch dash. So it's gonna be around 20 frames to execute this move. So it's a bit slower, but still something you should use, since it's the most consistent way to stop movement. Other than that, we have throws, obviously. New to Tekken 8, the throws are homing, meaning they can't walk it, they have to react to it and break them. Especially this one is super important, since this one not only does it switch sides on break, but also on hit, which means if we are doing this here, you are at the wall, let's say you do down 4, they wanna walk, and then you can, okay, maybe not down 4, down 1 for example. Big damage. As you can see, they can't walk it. It splits them. On counter hit, the break window is even smaller. if they do a parry or a power crush, they can't break it. So it's a 12, essentially, like everyone, it's a 12 frame homing that you have to use, since it's so strong. Like, I still don't use it like enough. I should use it even more, but I'm getting more used to it and try it every now and then, cause it also switches sides, gives you a full combo, stuff like that, right? So that was the obvious things, right? 7 for 3, quarter circle forward 3+4, and we have the throws. Now, everything that comes beside this, it kinda depends, right? So since I say you walk to the right, it's the most consistent way. You have some options to beat that, like forward 2. Also means forward 2-4, but that is also a bit inconsistent. If you delay it, sometimes you can connect it, but yeah, it depends a bit on the axis. It's gonna be more about just forward 2. Maybe you can try forward 2-2, but if it's too much delayed, it's not gonna be natural anymore. So you have a lot of situations. Let's get lightning glare. Let's say you do wall running 3. They try to walk. Let's say you do like the low, right? It will whiff. So what you can do if you have lightning glare is use it to get the string, cause if that tracks to the right, it will stop the movement. And especially at the wall, it's just gonna be big damage, cause essentially it's a 14 frame jailing move, so you can still hit confirm it if you only do the first 2 on hit and see if it connects. And yeah, it stops a lot of the walking. But yeah, it has, as you can see, it's not consistent at all. After certain moves, you will definitely get it guaranteed. It really depends on the situation though. Like sometimes, if they are walking really early, the second hit might whiff. But it's definitely an option. You have to use it all in the end if you want to be successful with this character. Other than that, if we do a pretty delayed forward 4 like this will also connect. So, for example, if we try sidewalk left, the other side, doesn't matter how much I delayed. If I really delayed, but then I'm like in his face basically, it might connect, but like as you can see, like it won't connect at all. The chances of it connecting to the right though is way higher. Like also just forward 4. You can also try to just do this, since it's also less minus than forward 3. Since this one is 13, this is 14, so it's a bit more risky to forward the second one. It's not the most ideal version to really stop movement, but there's definitely an option to try to go for it. If you have a good feeling for it. For example, let's say you know your opponent loves to walk on wake up, you know? They stand up and they immediately try to wake up with sidewalk. You can try to go for the 4 or like homings. You just kind of have to see what habits your opponent has. Other than that, the most not generic, but like the most typical version or move you will use with Leo is gonna be down forward 2. It is nerfed, like the tracking got nerfed, as you can see, but it still tracks pretty good. The further you are away, the better it will be for the tracking. Funny enough, if I'm in his face and I do down forward 2, it will whiff. If I'm just a bit further away, like here, chances are way higher that it will connect actually. So I always try to play around this position, since you have options for keep out tools still, like this one, which is a counter launcher. And if I try to walk, as I said, like it will track them pretty good for both sides actually. It's not, of course, not a real homing, and like you will run into situations where even like Dragunov and Lily will walk it, but it's definitely something you should not forget. if you're a bit far away, it will track better. Other than that, there are 2 more moves from crouch dash actually, which is gonna be crouch dash 1, so quarter circle forward 1. Tracks also really good. It's a bit slow unfortunately, but it still will track them. Same goes to quarter circle forward to 1. This one's a bit weird, as you see. Really weird interaction is happening here. The thing with this move is, Leo will always, if they don't stop walking after the first one, Leo will always, it's like always connect, like every time. I've had situations where Leo really goes like 180 degrees back turned. Like, they would have to stop moving. Otherwise Leo will always try to walk and hit the second move. And the more you delay the crouch dash here, the more you will realign with your opponent, and the better it will track. Like the more percentage, let's say it like this, the more percentage there is that it will also realign, so it stops walking. Other than that, there's like that one concept I want to mention when it comes to stopping movement, and that's a more generic thing. Like for example, down 2, yeah? Down 2 has pretty dumb tracking, like basically none. It will mostly always with, there are 2 ways to somewhat hit it or make it on block, and that is either you do a backdash, pretty delayed one, oops, or you do a dash. It's still pretty inconsistent, because it really depends on when your opponent will try to walk, and when not, like you can see. It's not ideal. Like mostly it's gonna be backdashes, because backdashes, what the point of the backdashes is that when you backdash doing a sidewalk, he will always realign. Like I'm always facing him. Like it's like I'm walking with him, almost. Like for example, if you do down forward 4, you see it whiffs. If I do backdash down forward 4, it will connect. Like for that split second where I'm backdashing, you will realign for a little bit. So your chances to hit moves, like for example also this, it will dramatically increase, because for a little bit you will realign, and depending on when you will do the move and when your opponent stops walking, it might get better or worse. It really is timing based. So I mean, Leo is in general a very timing based character, I think. You can get a lot of momentum by just good timing and counter hits and keep outs and stuff like this, and that's all based on timings, right? Counter hits and keep outs. So trying to realign with your opponent, especially with a character like Leo that has pretty poor tracking, is so important. So yeah, even down forward 2, as you can see, he tries to walk. If I do it like this, you see it just whiffs, right? If I do backdash, suddenly it connects because of the realignment. And Leo facing Kazuya in this situation once again. Of course, there are some moves that you just can't do it. They will never connect. Like down 2 is not the best example, as you can see. It can connect, but it's pretty inconsistent. And then some moves, forward 2 for example, is one of them where it's really hard to really connect it if they are momentum. So on these kind of moves, like forward 2, since you can hold forward for quite a while, you can really try to walk with them. Like they're walking, I'm dashing. You see how it also realigns? Not the one-in one, just the dashing. And if I delay it a little bit, it will connect. Not like this. This will, she's instantly my back. More about waiting. And that's what makes Leo so hard. A lot of characters have easy options to do tracking moves. A lot of the moves track really well. I mean, this game is weird anyways in that regard, where like they buff the movement, but a lot of the moves are just tracking like crazy. But with Leo, he kind of plays the Tekken 7 game, and playing by the old books, let's say it like this. So you really have to use these kind of options and try to combine all of this from this video with the other videos I made, like neutral guide and obviously some optimal combos and stuff, and it will get successful. But I can tell you, lately I haven't had a good session. Like, I've been losing a lot as well online. It gets frustrating with this character, let's say it like this. But I'm still enjoying Leo a lot. Like, I can't imagine playing a different character. So we have to bite in the sour apple. We have to try our best though. Let's see what the patch is bringing us. Okay, that was it basically. If you have any other tips or something I have maybe forgotten that is also a good option to beat these movement options, then let me know in the comments. If you have questions, also let me know as always. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Peace out.